The Dutchman walked down bare, open corridors to his meeting with Commander Cody. He was fearful of the wrath that may be present in the commander, but he had no other choice but to go. To run would mean his sure demise, but to face his fears meant the slightest of possibilities of living. Dutchman came to the outside of the room where Cody was.
Sir, you called for me?
Yes, Dutchman. Come on in. I am sure that you are aware why I called you in here, correct?
I'd imagine it was because of my recent failure.
Failure? Ha! More like disastrous series of events. First, you let Commander 55 and this so-called new 501st Legion take over our military base on Dantooine. Then, you lose sight of where Rico was because you couldn't just kill him. You had to play games with him? And in doing so, he got away and wiped out a large portion of your brand new, fully funded Stormtrooper Legion. Failure is an understatement.
Yes, sir. I understand the folly of my ways, but what are your intentions for me?
Well, you're a lucky one, Dutchman. It turns out Lord Vader has taken a liking to you for whatever reason, and has ordered me to give you one last opportunity, with a short leash, of course. Plus, you did manage to bring me Captain Rex. Now go and gather your troopers. I have some information we must act upon. With Dutchman gone, Commander Cody went to the prisons to visit his captive for the first time, Captain Rex. Well, 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 Cody. You finally decided to grace me with your presence. I never thought you'd actually work up the courage to pay me a visit yourself. How could I not, Rex, old boy? You know, I love to reminisce about the good old days, but I'm afraid we won't have much to talk about. Yet, anyway. What do you mean by yet? Well, I've gotten word from an informant of mine that your friends over at Ricos Brigade are going to be sending over Delta Squad to try and rescue you from here. How nice of them, right? Of course, I won't be able to let that happen. Cody, you know you're on the wrong side of history, right? You can still join the side of good and justice. Just let Delta Squad through and come back to Ricos Brigade with me. I can talk to Rico. He'll let you make amends. He's a good soldier and a better leader. You'll be part of something worth fighting for again. That was cute, Rex. Have you been practicing that little speech? I have to give it a 7 out of 10, though. It didn't quite have the emotional punch I think you were just looking for. Why are you like this now, Cody? You used to be the most level-headed of all of us. Don't you see, Rex? I still am. But you and your little band of misfits refuse to accept that the Jedi are not the ones to fight for. They betrayed the Republic and tried to control everything themselves. I could never support such tyrants. Cody, you must understand the irony here. They're manipulating your thoughts and filling your head with nothing but rumors and false war cries to get you on their side. Don't you remember a thought change after Order 66? I've had enough of this conversation, Rex. I will come back to see you when my expected guests have arrived. I'm not sure if they'll be dead or alive, but they will keep you plenty of company regardless. I'm sure of it. Rico was standing in his armor, freshly shined to perfection, along with the rest of Rico's brigade leaders, who were in their best attire also. They were standing before the caskets of Boris and Flashpoint. Soldiers. Before me are the caskets of 2 clones, but I would prefer to use the words heroes. These men exemplified the difference between each and every one of us clone troopers. They had their own wonderful personalities, their own mastered skills, and their own relationships to those around them. I would like to commend them for being excellent soldiers, but I wish I didn't have to. I wish I could stand before you all and talk about how Flashpoint was like a son to me, charismatic, full of life and creativity. I wish I could say that Boris was a dear friend to me. I want to say that I admired his sense of humor, his social skills, and his ability to find amusement in just about anything. But sadly, I can't talk about those real qualities. For we are in war. When we're at war, suddenly personalities go away, and all we are remembered for is how good at soldiering we were, or how our marksmanship was, or even the ability to follow orders. It's one of the greatest atrocities of war, the loss of traits and personalities in favor of our abilities. But let's not let that happen to these fine 2 men. Let's keep them alive in spirit, and win this war, so that each of us can die with personalities and not with statistics. Don't get me wrong, Flashpoint and Boris will be missed, and they were some of the best of us. But they would want us to keep going. They would want us to fight on in their namesake. So let's just do that. remember them for their real qualities, and let them become symbols for what we truly are fighting for: independence and uniqueness. After the funeral, Rico and the commanders stood together. "That was a touching speech, sir," Racket said. "I think they would have appreciated it." "I hope so, and we'll each take our time to grieve tonight. But right now, I need our minds back on the war, I'm afraid to say." "It's quite all right, sir. Flashpoint and Boris wouldn't want us moping around all day," Flack said, trying to reassure Rico. "Thanks, Flack," Rico said appreciatively. "Now, I would first like to welcome Clocker and Phantom as newly promoted captains. They served me well on Kuat, and will make good additions to the little think tank that we have assembled here. Okay, with that, Racket, have Delta Squad moved out yet?" I believe so, sir. They should have left about an hour ago. They've geared up and taken an LAAT to the suspected location of Captain Rex, and, well, hopefully Mental as well, as I've informed you." "Yes, well, we can only hope for a two womp rat, one stone situation here. That is, if Mental hasn't been completely brainwashed by Cody yet. I still can't believe that Flashpoint saw him. I can't either. After all these years, Mental is still alive? That's crazy. Flashpoint was relatively sure of it, too." "Good, good. Then there is hope for my long-lost friend." "Yes, sir. And Captain 55 is ready to launch the ground assault on Kuat and take over the planet for good from the Empire. He says the 501st Legion is just waiting your orders." "Excellent, Racket. You've handled things exceptionally well in my absence. Order 55 to launch the attack. I want the planet taken as quickly as possible so that the Dutchman cannot send reinforcements there in time." "Actually, sir, it's rather strange. The Dutchman's elite troopers have pulled out from the planet. They were replaced by a standard garrison not too long ago." "That is strange. But I suppose with Flack and I off the planet, there wouldn't really be a reason to keep such elite units there. So I suppose it is okay. Just keep an eye on things. Now, Clocker and Phantom, I wanted to tell you this in a more formal way, but sadly I'm busy with more logistics to catch up on after this, so I hope you don't mind the informality. From now on, you two will be co-leading a legion of soldiers. They are still in the process of training, so you will be in charge of overseeing them through that. But after that, you'll be leading them straight into battle." "Thank you, sir." "Yeah, thank you, sir," the two of them said. "Okay, now that is the end of the business that I have for us all. I must go and work on some of the other stuff for the current state of the nation, and, well, figure out all the stuff I missed as well. You're all dismissed." Delta Squad grouped up outside of their LAAT gunship. "Alright, boys, it's been a while since we've been in the thick of it together, but I imagine it'll be just like driving a speeder again," Boss said. "Don't worry, sir, we've got this," Sev said cockily. Suddenly, there was a rumbling sound, and the valley where they had parked their ship was trapped off by large boulders that had avalanched downwards. "Stay sharp, guys. This doesn't seem normal." Then, out came the Dutchman.
I wouldn't fire those weapons, boys. I've got the place surrounded by snipers at all sides. Even you couldn't blast your way out of this one.
"Put him down, guys. They've got us." 55 was standing before a sergeant. "Get the troopers moving, Glasden. I want this trash bucket taken by nightfall." "As you wish, sir." The 501st moved out to engage across the entirety of the planet. 55 himself would oversee the retaking of the military base Rico had escaped from prior. Hopefully, there would be some prisoners they could rescue. The soldiers marched forward, and once they reached the outside defenses, all hell broke loose. The dust settled on the battlefield about an hour later, and 55 walked amongst the dead. Another soldier walked up to him. "Sir, we've rescued the prisoners and sent them to the medical triage. One of them was asking about Captain Phantom to see if he was still alive. Apparently he's his friend named Whipper. He was fixing up a droid that he called Eugene in his prison cell." "Huh, very interesting. I'll inform Captain Phantom. I'm sure that he will be very interested, Sergeant. Why don't you finish cleaning up this base and get the tech working again? You've done well here. The rest of the planet is also falling to us very easily. At this rate, we will hold the planet in no time. I'm going to report in to Commander Rico." Captain Rex was in his prison cell, and Commander Cody walked up to him once again. Well, 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 Rex. Your friends in Delta Squad are mine now. Their inhibitor chips are being corrected as we speak. Soon, they will be fighting for the right side once more. You truly sicken me, Cody. Consider any respect I had for you gone completely. I thought it was possible to save you. I'm not sure that's even the case anymore. You're too far gone. Well, you'll think differently in an hour when the surgeon has had his time with you. We'll be fighting side by side once again, and you'll see the defects in your ways. Master Windu, you called for me?
Yes, my Padawan. I sense the turning tides in the war. It looks as though we may have to go into action sooner than I had previously predicted. Go and see our commando friend about finishing preparations for the ship. He will need to step up the timetable.
Yes, sir. Hey, Blitzer, it looks like we might be moving out sooner than we thought. Alright, I guess I can make that happen. Help me out with some of these repairs.